Hey guys, I have a little bit of a cold, so I figured it was the perfect time to make another soup video. This time, tomato. I started by quartering 6 Roma tomatoes and placing them on a olive oil greased baking tray. I added salt and pepper to the tomatoes, and I placed them into a 400-degree oven for 20 to 25 minutes. In the meantime, I got a pot ready, put it on medium-low heat, added olive oil, 3 cloves garlic, and half of a white onion. I mixed them frequently and sauteed them for almost the entirety of the time that the tomatoes are cooking. It's really important to keep an eye on these because you don't want the onions or the garlic to burn. When the tomatoes were ready, I added them to the pot along with a cup of vegetable broth, and I raised the heat to medium-high and stirred it. I chopped up some fresh basil, and it's really important not to skip the fresh part with this recipe. Something about fresh basil makes the world of a difference when it comes to tomato soup. I stirred it in. I used about 3 large leaves. And I decided my soup was looking a little too thick, so I added another cup and a half of vegetable broth. After stirring it all together, I decided to go in with a little agave because sugar cuts the acidity of the tomatoes. I got my immersion blender out and got to mixing. You can use a regular blender too, but you would need to make sure that your soup is cooled first. Once I got to a texture I was almost happy with, I added in some dairy-free heavy whipping cream. And this is just because I prefer a creamy tomato soup, but if you don't, you can absolutely skip this step. When I was happy with the texture, I scooped it and put it into a bowl, added some fresh basil on top, paired it with some freshly baked bread, and sat outside and enjoyed it. It was so delicious.